In 1940, a Harvard psychologist made a claim so bold it shocked the world. He said your body shape could decide your entire life. The idea spread like wildfire. He even suggested that slim people were shy, that muscular people were born leaders, and that stocky people were more likely to be criminals. It sounds absurd today, but millions believed it. Some still do. But here's the haunting question. Is your destiny really locked inside your body type? What if the truth was both stranger and far more freeing than you've ever been told? Picture three silhouettes before you. One thin, one athletic, one round. Which one are you? And what does it secretly say about your life? Stay with me, because at the end, we'll uncover how this 80-year-old theory still shapes fitness, sports, and even how we see ourselves today. And most importantly, what modern science now says you can actually do about it. In the 1940s, a Harvard-trained psychologist named William H. Sheldon introduced a theory that would change how the world looked at the human body. He called them somatotypes, three simple labels: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. To Sheldon, these weren't just body shapes, they were maps of your entire life. The ectomorph, thin and fragile. He claimed they were introverted, nervous, even shy. The mesomorph, muscular and broad. He declared them natural leaders, aggressive and dominant. And the endomorph, round and soft. Sheldon tied them to being lazy, comfort-seeking, and even linked them to criminal behavior. It wasn't just about muscle or fat, it was about destiny. Imagine being told that your bones in your waistline would decide if you'd be a leader, a follower, or even a criminal. For millions, it felt like science had spoken. A mirror was no longer just glass. It was a judge of your future. But how did such a strange, unproven idea grow so powerful in the first place? By the 1950s, Sheldon's theory of somatotypes had leapt from lecture halls into popular culture. The labels spread fast. A slim body wasn't just a shape anymore. It meant a nervous introvert, bookish and shy. A muscular frame wasn't just strong. It meant the hero archetype, the soldier, the leader, the man built to command. And a heavy build wasn't just round. It became shorthand for being lazy, indulgent, or even prone to crime. Magazines, schools, even military recruiters embraced it. The world began to sort people with a glance. For many, it felt like a shortcut, a way to explain why some rose and others fell. A new kind of science-sounding destiny. But there was a darker side. Children were told their future by their shape. Judges considered body type in criminal cases. Employers quietly judged ectomorphs as weak and endomorphs as unreliable. Society wasn't just buying into a theory, it was living inside it. But that left one crucial question. Could actual science back it up? Or was it all just a beautiful illusion? By the late 1960s, the cracks in Sheldon's grand theory had grown too wide to ignore. In 1967, two scientists, J.E. Lindsay Carter and Barbara Heath, stepped forward. They took Sheldon's somatotypes and stripped them down to what could actually be measured. Gone were the claims about shyness, criminality, or leadership. Gone were the sweeping judgments about a body's supposed destiny. What remained was something far more modest, a system of classifying physical traits, height, weight, muscle, fat distribution, real numbers that could be tested and repeated. For the first time, somatotypes became a tool of science, not just a mirror of prejudice. The ectomorph was simply lean. The mesomorph was muscular. The endomorph carried more fat. No more talk of criminal minds or natural leaders. Only measurable shapes. Even as science cleaned up the theory, the old myth survived. People still whispered that body shape revealed character. Coaches still sorted athletes by type, and the shadow of Sheldon's claims lived on. So the question remained, If the personality link was fake, why did coaches and athletes keep using it? By the 1970s, the world of sports science had found a new use for somatotypes. Trainers began to notice a pattern. Certain body builds seemed to shine in certain sports. The mesomorph, broad shoulders, fast twitch muscle, often dominated as a sprinter. The ectomorph, long, lean, light, excelled as a marathoner, built for endurance. And the endomorph, stockier, stronger, heavier, found a place in the trenches as linemen in football. For coaches, it was a tempting shortcut, a way to spot talent just by looking. But the truth was more complicated. Yes, patterns existed, but no somatotype could predict the heart of an athlete. It couldn't measure discipline, training, or willpower. Still, the system became part of the playbook. From school gyms to Olympic programs, athletes were quietly sorted by shape. It was useful, but dangerously oversimplified, because bodies are not fixed boxes. They change with work, diet, and time. And when the fitness industry discovered how powerful these labels could be, the story took a much darker turn. By the 2000s, the old idea of somatotypes had found a new stage: the booming fitness industry. Online quizzes promised to tell you your exact type. Flashy supplement ads shouted about secret formulas, and workout programs declared, "Train for your body type or fail forever." The message was everywhere. If you struggled with fat loss, ads told you it was because you were an endomorph. If you had thin arms or legs, they said you were an ectomorph doomed to be weak. If you built muscle fast, they crowned you a natural mesomorph, born to dominate the gym. But here's the trap. Millions were being tricked. People spent fortunes on supplements, special programs, and false promises designed to fix a problem that didn't even exist. The myth had been recycled into marketing gold. A simple, outdated idea turned into a billion-dollar business model, and millions bought into it. But strip away the ads, the quizzes, and the hype. What does modern science really say about your body type? By the 2010s, the cracks in the old theory were too wide to hide. Modern science struck back. Studies showed it wasn't somatotypes that shaped your destiny. It was genetics, hormones, diet, training, sleep, and stress. Real factors that could be measured. Real habits you could control. And here's the twist. You can actually move along the spectrum. A so-called ectomorph can build muscle. An endomorph can lose fat. A mesomorph can still struggle if habits fail. The myth tried to trap people in fixed boxes, but science proved you could break free because your future isn't written by your bones. It's written by your choices. If you're tired of fitness lies and want science-backed breakdowns like this, hit subscribe now so you never miss the truth. But that leaves one final question. If change is possible, how should each so-called body type actually train and eat? So what does modern science actually recommend? For the so-called ectomorph, the key is higher calories and protein. Focus on compound lifts, limit long cardio, and channel energy into building size and strength. For the mesomorph, balance is everything. Blend strength work with conditioning, eat a moderate diet, and aim for steady, consistent progress. For the endomorph, the focus shifts. Stick to resistance training, add daily movement, manage energy intake, and never underestimate the power of sleep. Picture 3 friends training at the same gym. One thrives on heavy lifts, one shines with a balanced mix, one finds success through structure and recovery. Different strategies, different needs, all moving forward. What if you don't fit neatly into any of these categories? Here's the truth most people never hear. You're not locked into a single box, you're a blend. The Heath-Carter model, the most accepted version, never measured absolutes. It measured degrees. You might be part ectomorph, part mesomorph, or a mix of mesomorph and endomorph, shades on a spectrum, not fixed cages, and that changes everything. Your body is not a prison. It's adaptable. It grows with training, shifts with diet, and reshapes with lifestyle. The myth said, your shape decides your fate, but the science says, your choices decide your path. That's the real power hidden in this debate, because the next time you look in the mirror, you're not staring at destiny. You're staring at potential. So after 80 years of myths and marketing, what's the real truth about body types? Somatotypes don't control your life. Your habits do. What began as a flawed theory in the 1940s still fuels fitness ads today. But science shows freedom. Your body type is a starting point, not a sentence. Slim, stocky, or athletic, anyone can transform. Destiny isn't shape, it's choice. Don't let an 80-year-old myth decide what you can or cannot achieve. Your body is not fixed. It adapts to how you live. Subscribe for more myth-busting science that helps you grow stronger. Which type do you think you are? And can people really change? Comment below.